Hello everyone, welcome to Star Codes. This is Tanya Gabrielle, Wealth Astrologist. Welcome, because this is going to be a huge episode, one I've been wanting to create for you for the last couple of weeks, but I've been traveling with my daughter and been holding the space for her, so I'm now able to dedicate myself and prepare for this particular episode. So it's an important one because I'll be revealing information about the code, the Numerology, the name, regarding everything around the coronavirus. And that means hidden dynamics, decoding the secret vibrations to help you navigate and understand and ultimately heal and grow and stay in a place of calm during this very uncertain time in human history. So you'll be able to connect the dots and make sense of what's going on in the 2020s at this time. It's really the time to unveil the truth through the symbols, and astrology really lends itself to doing that. And it's really coming to a head in March for a reason. March is a 7 universal month in numerology, and 7 is about making those intuitive downloads, having those aha moments, rest and relaxation, research, gathering wisdom. In other words, it's time for a timeout. 7 is about taking a sabbatical so that you can go within. So a spiritual quarantine is really what's necessary. A retreat that allows you to breathe in seclusion and start an inward journey. There's a lot of energy in play now that needs to be assimilated. And so we are really under the celestial energy that is an undeniable force, meaning we can make this a force for good. The force is with us, but it's also forcing us to make changes that we otherwise would not have made. Given human nature, we like things to just remain the same, and that's what we equate with ease. But ease is actually the ability to intuit and live in the moment and not get caught up in fear. So the false sense of ease that we have when we don't grow and things remain the same is what we're grappling with now. And it's opening up a lot of doors that are revealing things that are helping us to move into the Aquarian age and be free, because that's what Aquarius stands for. Now, the big players in this episode, in this coronavirus storyline, are, of course, Pluto, the life, death, empowerment planet, the planet that purges, annihilates, and then rebirths. Mars, fire and drive, military, forward momentum, propulsion, really allowing you to pierce through the illusion. Jupiter, the expansive planet, the fortunate planet, the planet of wisdom and justice and joy and abundance. And then Saturn, the planet of borders and order and being strict and measuring things. So putting strict measures down in order to create those important boundaries. Also patience and learning. And then also Mercury. Mercury plays a very big role. Mercury was part of the stellium. Remember, it was the Sun, it was Mercury, and Saturn and Pluto. Saturn and Pluto having not met in Capricorn in 500 years, and that happened in early January and is going to impact us all year long. And Mercury brings the impact of our communication is changing, our way how we communicate, what we research, information, the information age itself is partially governed by Mercury because Mercury is the planet of the message. So our message, the message we're sending and the message we're actually pondering, all of that is changing. There you go. There's the mail just arrived. Lots of unexpected energy in this 7 universal month. Going back to that 7, March in 2020 is a 7 universe month. 7 looks like a lightning strike, and it literally is bringing, the top line is heaven, and the line that goes down is heaven being brought to earth. So it means intuitive downloads, listening, being in seclusion so that you can hear things and be aware. So those are the main planets we're going to look at. We're obviously going to look at signs as well. Capricorn, Pisces, where the Mercury retrograde just took place and where Mercury is about to re-enter again. Mercury and Pisces are really helping to allow us to look at the Piscean age, which is ending now. And Pisces is about letting go, and it is the final sign, so it does govern death and purging. And it is a very watery sign. It's governed by Neptune. So, spreading things, and, it can be unconditional love or it can be a virus, right? That's all part of watery energy. And we'll also look at the names and the codes for this virus. So this is all part of the decoding of what the message is, the underlying message, to help set us free and help calm us down and help us see beyond just what the media is reporting, which of course most of it is very much fear-based. It's one thing to get information, it's another to fan the flames of fear. So we need to understand the underlying message so that we stay in a place of calm. So we are going to look at the name for coronavirus disease 2019 as well as COVID-19. Both of those are very important. So we'll look at the code, and we're going to see how we navigate this incredible shift that's happening now for all of us on Earth. I mean, there's nobody who's now not aware about what is going on. Nobody's not impacted or doesn't know somebody who's impacted. So what does it all mean? And of course, as usual, I'm going to end with tips on how to nourish yourself and take this period as a time of expansion and pressing the reset button, because the life as we have known it has ended. And the reset button is really, really in play right now. So that's what we're covering today. So these times we're in obviously are unprecedented. Mercury retrograde, let's start with that because there's lots to cover. And you may want to watch this episode more than once or listen to it more than once because there's really a lot of information. I don't want to do an information overload. We have enough of that going on these days. But it really, I want you to be able to connect all the dots from the different angles of astronumerology. So let's look at the Mercury retrograde first. It ended on a critical degree in Aquarius. So this is very important because Aquarius is the new age that we're moving into, and the retrograde, most of it took place in Pisces, which is the age we're leaving. So it's bridging the 2,000-year ages that we are now right smack in the middle of and bridging. So it ended at 28 degrees Aquarius. That's a critical degree. It enhances everything. 28 degrees and 29 degrees in astrology are very, very strong, magnetic, big degree numbers. So it actually is setting off a message of freedom. Freedom from fear, which is what Aquarius stands for. And Pisces is unconditional love, and we're all in this together, which is obviously true. And then the challenging side of Pisces is victimization. So we are leaving an age where we may have felt or not even known, but been under the control of, and we're going to go very much into this control part of the virus because it is so important, with Pluto being so much part of this storyline and Pluto being about empowering, or the negative side being disempowering, controlling, right? So we're going to look at that. But we're now leaving this undeniable sense of top-down leadership. This is how it works and there's no other way. You have to follow and toe the line. We're now leaving that and we're moving into an age where there is exploration and freedom. And that can be scary because when we're used to being told what to do and following a plan, and there's nothing wrong with plans, and there's nothing wrong with a step-by-step approach to life that is very much part of staying in a place of security and eliminating distractions, right? This is important. But we're leaving a time of victimization. That's really what this is about. And waking up to our own power, our own inner power, our own incredible connection to the divine, and ability to be able to create our life at will, and understanding the role that we play in everything that happens to us. Now, Mercury just ended its retrograde. It is now moving forward. It will re-enter Pisces on March 16th and then stay in Pisces until April 11th. So again, a long time in Pisces. And Mercury, having been part of the stellium, that quadruple conjunction in Capricorn on January 12th, between Saturn, Pluto, Mercury, and the Sun, is an important part of this purging, release of the past. And that means turning to the past, talking about the past. And so it is helping us, this retrograde that just ended, and it ended on the day of the Virgo full moon. It's another symbol. On March 9th, the Mercury retrograde ended and Virgo full moon happened. And Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. And what is Virgo all about? Health and healing. So this is unprecedented when you look at all the bullet points and take a survey. Just that alone shows you how important these times are, how the cosmos how the universe is helping us to let go, to clear, to cleanse, and press the reset button. But that will require a lot of reflection. That's why I mentioned the spiritual quarantine, the retreat, the seclusion, taking an inward journey, and it requires boundaries. It requires the ability to stay at home or in the place where it feels like a sanctuary for you. Go within, turn off your devices. I know you're listening to this on your device, so it's a paradox, but only use the devices for the most essential and uplifting things that you really, really need to know, the information you need, and then those things that will help you navigate that information. Now, one more important thing to share with you, and this is going to lead us now into the name for the virus itself. This Mercury retrograde on March 4th entered Aquarius, and then, of course, stayed on the two critical degrees, 28 degrees and 29 degrees, before stationing direct on March 9th, which I've mentioned. So remember those two numbers, March 4th and March 9th. So how do those numbers relate to the name of the virus itself? Why are they so important, and what do they mean? So here's where we get into astrology and numerology, astronumerology. The coronavirus name is going to be looked at now with the two systems in numerology. There's the Pythagorean system, which is the Western system, which is straight adding calculation of names. And then there's the Chaldean system, which is the ancient system of the Sumerians that takes the alphabet as sound. So completely different calculation. I'm not teaching you about how to do this or anything like that. I just want to let you know I'm using two systems. And the first one is for birth names. That is written in stone. So whatever your name is at birth, that is your destiny number. It cannot be changed, and it is not negative or positive. The second system, the Chaldean system, is for current names, and it's just as important because it sets the stage for how difficult or easy your life is. In this case, we're going to read the names for the coronavirus. The official name is the Coronavirus Disease 2019. And under the Chaldean system, the name coronavirus, which first emerged in the 1960s, coronavirus adds up to 43 in the Chaldean system. And 43 is in a current name, not a birth name. 43 is associated with upheaval, conflict, obstacles, disappointment. It is a very difficult current name number. So if you were my client and you had a current name that added up to 43, I would absolutely change it for you. Change the spelling so you had a fortunate name. So let's look at the second word in this coronavirus disease 2019 official name. The second name is disease. Disease adds up to 26. 26 is another challenging number for current names. It requires that you listen absolutely closely to your intuition because others may not have your best interest at heart. And so it is not recommended, of course, for those reasons and also karmic reasons. It's a very karmic number. And then 2019, that's the final word in that official name. In 2019, last year, was and is, adds up to 12. 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9 equals 12. And 12 is the number of the student and is also, the shadow side is, it's the victim number. So again, for current names, it is not recommended. So then we add up, and I'm not going to explain how this works. We add up what this all means. We don't do 43 plus 26 plus 12. That's not how it works for current names. So I'm going to give you the total now. The total for coronavirus disease 2019 is 18. And 18 is one of the most challenging numbers in current name numerology, Chaldean numerology, because it is about health. It is about materialism wanting to destroy the spiritual side of nature, and it literally covers you needing to take a time out and attend to your health. It also covers social upheaval, uprisings, revolution, burdens, martyrdom. So again, if it was your current name number, it would absolutely, require me to give you a fortunate alternative. So that's what coronavirus disease 2019 adds up to, is 18, which is a huge focus on rest and health, okay? Now the birth name, the Pythagorean system for this name, this official name, adds up to 94. So now we're going to tie it into the Mercury retrograde. 94, 9 plus 4 is 13, and 13, 1 plus 3 is 4. So now you can see those two numbers. 18 reduces to 9, 1 plus 8 is 9, 94 reduces to 4. So Mercury retrograde, March 4th, March 9th. We have the connection now. And what do those numbers stand for? Well, unbelievable. 4 is about boundaries, borders, order, home, family, architecture, feng shuiing your whole life, your surroundings. It is about integrity and honesty and a simple life connected to earth. 4 is the number of earth. And what is 9 about? Well, 9 is release. It's the last single digit number. It bridges. It is about letting go, culminating. It governs complete, like if you're looking at transformation, it governs the ending of something. So it covers death, and then the next number after 9 is 1 again. 1 through 9, 1 through 9. That's how numerology works, right? So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the number 10 reduces to 1. 1 plus 0 is 1, right? You continue like that. So 9 is the ending, the letting go, the culmination, the wisdom that's gathered from the previous 8 numbers. So then we move to the shortened name. This is amazing. So the shortened name for this virus is COVID-19, COVID-19. What does that add up to? Well, in the Chaldean system, it adds up to 31. 31. What does 31 reduce to? 4. Unbelievable. And in the Pythagorean system, COVID-19 is a 36, and 3 plus 6 is 9. So we have 31, which reduces to 4, and 36, which reduces to 9 in the two different systems of adding names. Wow. Okay, so connect the dots. 4, again, containment, order, family, home. 4 seasons, 4 directions, the earth. It's the number of earth. 9, endings, culminations, letting go, wisdom, the death of the past, healing. Unconditional love. That's what 9 is. Unconditional love. It is really a blending of the signs of Pisces and Capricorn, honestly, because the unconditional love of the 9 and the order and boundaries of the 4 are directly connected to Capricorn and Pisces. So next, what we're going to do is look at the letter C. And this is important because the country where the virus originated, which I will not name in this video because of what happened the last time I focused on this country in my Pisces new moon video. Be sure to watch that. It's still around, it's I forget what episode number it is, but it's 3 or 4 episodes again, the Pisces new moon. I talked about this country extensively, the astrology and astrocartography, meaning world map, what was going on with this country. That country's name starts with C, and also the virus itself starts with C. Both names, COVID and coronavirus, start with C, and C is about cleansing and clearing. It's the channel, it's the conduit, so it's very psychic. It's the 3rd letter of the alphabet, so it governs creation, another C word, and it is very connected to expansion because creation, mother, father, child, is about the ability to grow and keep imagining things and creating and growing, right? So, and then the word corona itself means crown, another C word. So C is important. It opens up to the right. It faces the future. It is very much about allowing you to share and see moving forward. So not looking back. It faces the back, meaning the back of the letter faces the past. And the letter itself is saying move forward, leave the past behind. And that's why it governs the ability to be a conduit, to be a channel, and look at a forecast, right? So people who have C's in their name are often very psychic if they are tuned in on that level. So the corona, let's look at that. It means crown. And this is important because a faintly colored ring or halo is what corona is. It is around a luminous body of light, a celestial body. It can be one or more circles of light that are seen around a luminous object, like the moon, like the sun. And so this is, again, a symbol of something that I will go into in a bit when we go into the tips, because it is round, and we're going to look at that. What does that mean? Because when we understand the number 19 now, that's part of the name, COVID-19 and coronavirus disease 2019. The number 19 is important. Well, what are we letting go of? The 1900s. What happened in the 1900s? The discovery of plutonium, which Pluto was named after. That's why Pluto is about destroying and rebirthing and transformation and empowerment. We had the 2 world wars and tremendous breakthroughs for human rights in the 1900s. And so now we're being asked to coexist, to really create heaven on earth. This is what the 2020s are truly about. And so COVID-19 is, okay, we went through a lot to get to this point. We now need to clear 1 and 9, beginning and endings, right? 19 is the Prince of Heaven number. It represents the sun, the light. And that's where we're heading. The corona is the halo, the ring or halo around a luminous body, like the sun. It's luminous body, it's light. So we're clearing the darkness, we're moving into the light. And so we're moving into the number 20 now. 20 being about peace and balance and equality and the ability to just connect in a harmonious way, right? So this is a very important part of the code. Then we have a triple conjunction, and this is really important, between Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto. So Pluto and Jupiter are going to join together on April 4th. Again, I'm going to do star code forecasts for all of this, so watch for future episodes. But Mars is going to be setting off this conjunction on March 20th. And what's so amazing is that on March 20th, Mars will be conjunct Jupiter at 22 degrees Capricorn. Now, what is 22 degrees Capricorn? That is the degree number of the stellium, of the Saturn, Pluto, Sun, Mercury stellium. That is the degree number. So it is setting off the meaning of what the stellium is doing. The stellium in Capricorn, that is pressing the reset button in such a big way. And again, we're going to go into that in a sec. We're going to look at what that means, what happened 500 years ago with Martin Luther when the last time the stellium happened, meaning the conjunction with Pluto and Saturn. And so that's coming up. So Mars is merging with Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, one by one in the middle of March. And each time it does that, the stellium in Capricorn is activated, the meaning of that stellium. So how can we take advantage and navigate this shift? 2020 is the year of awakening. It is the year of perfect vision. It is the year of balance and patience. And in a 2020 cycle, unexpected events are natural. They help you make a decision that may be a turning point in your life. So you may change location, you may change career, enter a new relationship, whatever it turns out to be, you'll be asked to think and act and feel differently from before. So it is an incredible astronumerology code here where the numerology of the year lines up completely with the astrology, which is about exactly the same thing. And we're seeing this now. And that is what this virus is actually doing, pressing the reset button in a way that we cannot escape from. We are forced to make changes, which we otherwise would not make. So you really learn a lot about yourself during a 20 cycle. So you don't want to waste time because you need to really act decisively. Otherwise, you're going to feel restless. And so this is a huge growth period for all of us because our whole future is in a germinating stage now. It's in a newfound area that we have never navigated. There is no rule book, there's no playbook, there is no guidelines. So it is important to create plans that come from a fresh new perspective and to also really reconnect with your existing and new relationships in a good way. So keeping that sense of balance is key with the 20. 20 reduces to 2, and that is about two people and you and an entity coming together in harmony. And if you feel torn or divided, which is the shadow side of the 2, you need to do a lot of healing and release work now. So release everything that is holding you back, that is keeping you down so you can move forward and not stagnate. Because this year is going to require a lot of, like I said, quick decisions, movement, but also healing and patience, right? To trust the divine order of things. And if you do follow those guidelines, the results will be unbelievable. They'll be spectacular. So paying attention to your spiritual needs, that inner relationship, the 2 is also very much and probably mostly connected to you and your inner life. And so this is then going to nourish all your other relationships as well when that one is clear, when you're constantly listening and in tune, right, with the divine, with your guides. All right, so now let's start connecting some of the dots, or some more of the dots, to reveal the essence of this storyline. And now I'm going to look at some current events. Since Monday, March 9, it was announced that Italy would be on a complete lockdown. So that was announced on the 9th, and then on the 10th, it was implemented. And it's the most aggressive step that has been taken by any country to contain the virus. No other country dealing with the outbreak, including the one where the outbreak originated, has locked down its entire country in response to the disease, because the country where it originated restricted movement in a couple of provinces at the epicenter of the outbreak. But when Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte, and again there's a C, Conte, C-O-N-T-E, announced on March 9th that no one is allowed to travel to Italy, from Italy, or within Italy unless it's necessary for work or health reasons. That was a huge moment, right? 60 million people on lockdown. Well, let's look at Italy, and then let's look at the country of the virus's origination. These are two very important countries in the storyline that is the symbol of what is being shifted and transmuted so that we can move into freedom. You may know what I'm about to say. Italy is where the Vatican is located. So look at the powerful symbolic message here. 500 years ago, when the stellium last happened, Martin Luther, a young Catholic priest, broke away from the Catholic Church, and that is when Pluto and Saturn last merged together in Capricorn. That stellium on January 12th is now peeling off the layers of what happened there. Why did Martin Luther leave the church and start this revolution? Well, it's because of the strong control, the indoctrination, and subjecting humans to doctrines from up high that have really no place when you have free will and the freedom to choose and make your own mistakes if that's what's necessary, but not be judged for them. These are doctrines of fear, in other words. And now let's look at the country of the origination of the virus. Something big is going on here because it's in plain sight. 2020 is the year of perfect vision, and that means that we're seeing everything, especially stuff that was invisible or swept under the rug before. We're seeing with great clarity. And so we're seeing that Italy is the seat of the Vatican, the seat of Catholicism. We're being shown a way out of disempowerment, Italy being on lockdown symbolically, right? We're seeing that the way that the Vatican has run things, even before 500 years ago, because that's when Martin Luther broke away, has now officially come to an end. That is the symbolic meaning of it, celestially speaking. And so let's look at the other stars and signs and locations, because the country of the origination of the virus, the sea country, and Italy have very close connections to each other that were established recently in the past couple of years that were very controversial. And isn't that interesting? Because the country where the virus originated is led by people behind the scenes and people we are aware of, the actual leaders, from a place of complete lack of spirituality. This is an AI country. And so we need to look at the good news here, because the force is now with the people of that country, the great culture of that country. I'm talking about the country where the virus originated. And sharing the wisdom and the inspiration that the culture has. Incredible, especially when it regards health and healing. So the country where the virus originated, which I'm not naming, as I explained, has leaders that have total control, and that is now breaking down. And Italy, the seat of the Vatican, houses and protects the church that has shielded horrific crimes against children, banned women from important positions, is obviously very hypocritical regarding the values it espouses in the pulpit versus the values it practices within closed doors and walls, meaning the Vatican. So religious mind control. Really, that is what we're talking about. In both instances, both countries are symbols of hijacking the soul. Divinity, being divine, is not religious. And government is not God. And this is the message of the Aquarian Age. This is the message that will set you free. Both leaderships in both of those symbolic locations in the world are symbolic enforcers of material and spiritual suppression and control. They represent the very structures that are being dismantled, that are covered by Capricorn. being dismantled as we speak. Of course, there are other structures. We know this. Other sectors worldwide that are undergoing and will be undergoing profound shifts and purging of these old paradigm values and adopt new values towards healthy, pure, high vibrational standards. They include corporate sector, mainstream media, big pharma, academia, cultural, the arts, including Hollywood, of course, which, is a big part of this whole control mechanism in terms of how movies actually make you feel, what are they actually doing to you subliminally. This is important stuff. The political sector, the spiritual New Age sector as well. There's a lot of energy that needs to be rebalanced and brought into equal masculine, equal feminine, and the best of both of those. So the highest expression of the masculine and the highest expression of the feminine. And so freedom is the key word, the freedom to research, the freedom to choose. And so we are now undeniably on a path of liberation. And so that is the silver lining of all of this, because the symbols must be understood. They must be followed, and they must be tracked, and they must be interpreted. And that's what astronumerology does so well. Again, go see that Pisces new moon forecast that I did, where you can see the astrocartography and astrology for the country where the virus originated. It is all clear in plain sight if you know how to interpret it. So we need total transparency regarding underlying motives and the commitment to both the individual freedom and the collective freedom, right? So this shift is all about an elevation of all people and entities to be in service to each other, not in servitude. We're eliminating those values that foster being in servitude, under control of. And when the force is with you, you are always forced to change within at all times, because you are living in the present. So this Saturn-Pluto conjunction that last happened 500 years ago, with that major break from the control of the Catholic Church with Martin Luther, is literally showing us the symbolic places, the locations that house and protect the controlling regimes that we are being freed from. And that is the truth of the matter. So what do we do when we're under these kinds of conditions? What is it teaching us? Well, first of all, Saturn Capricorn teaches self-sufficiency and boundaries, and only letting energy into your life that is positive, that is safe, that is uplifting, that is healing, being secure, being wise, being efficient. We're now facing the true reality of, for example, outsourcing so much to one country. That's not a safe way to go, right? So individually, this means taking care of your health, nurturing your spirit, practicing self-reliance and internal revitalization. Internal, that's where it all starts, right? So disease, that word is dis-ease. So when you are not at ease and when you're consumed by fear, your immune system is compromised. So just be very clear on that. And in terms of what you can do that's practical, we'll start by appreciating the sun, the sunlight, right? COVID-19, 19 is the Prince of Heaven number. Get out into the sun. Appreciate the beauty in your environment. Look around the room you are in right now. Look out the window. Take time to appreciate nature and appreciate everything that is in your environment. Is it something that is uplifting, that's bringing beauty and joy into your life? Appreciate your loved ones. Spend time with them. Smile at people when they come into your life. Laugh with them. Humor is so healing. Make light of things. Be delighted, right? And another message is to nurture your physical home. Is your home comfortable? Is it a joyful place? Does it feel like a sanctuary? Have you looked into your fridge lately, into your closets? Are they clean? Are they just filled with edible, healthy, fresh food? Or is there something that needs to be cleared out? This is also about spring cleaning in the Northern Hemisphere. Look at where we are. We're about to be in the spring equinox, right? So this is all about clearing. It's about feng shuiing your life. And clearing negative emotions is very much part of it. So that means being in a place that feels like a sanctuary so that you can clear easily, so you feel uplifted no matter where you look. Your home needs to be your refuge. It needs to be an emotionally safe and beautiful place. Now, if there is a quarantine where you are, and I know they're starting in countries now, I have sisters who live around the world. It's a crazy time. We're helping each other actually get home. One of my sisters needed to come home from Europe, still is stuck there and needs to come home. And so some countries are now under quarantine. We know about Italy. But when you look at a quarantine, it forces you to stay home and appreciate your home and have extra time to connect. That's the Mercury side. To communicate, to email, to call family, friends, to clean and clear your home, to clean your soul's home, your physical body, right? To practice everything in a quiet, beautiful, serene way and not feel like you're part of the rat race every day and then are just recovering on one day a week, if you even do that. So this is really about cherishing your time with family, with loved ones, to be creative in a new way, make the most out of this time. This is about self-care, self-love, staying close to what you really, really value and cherish, and have a reboot of what your true values are, because this is, like I said, a spring cleaning. Keep only what is uplifting, what is beautiful, what helps you feel abundant and joyful. So yes, it is a spiritual quarantine now. It is much more quiet, and we need to connect. We need to appreciate each other. We're living in a time of information overload, so we need to get in touch with what's true for all of us, to accept, to listen, and not to project information as truth onto others. Let's get back to listening, intuiting, and to relating to each other with respect and with love and with caring. The impact of this time and this virus truly is to bring us into balance. All energy is being brought into harmony. So you want to really understand that everything is being leveled. Everything is 20, balanced, leveled, brought in harmony. You can be rich, you can be poor, you can be black, you can be a Muslim, you can be Christian, you can be female, you can be Democrat, Republican, left, right, famous, not famous, doesn't matter. You're affected. We're all in this together. We need to support each other. This is shaking us up to work together, to join together, to appreciate each other, to help our leaders, whoever those leaders are. It doesn't matter if you like them or not. We need to pull together, and we need to support each other, because we rely on each other to create the greater good, and we need to give each other that support and that energy and pull together. And that includes helping small businesses too. We don't want them to go under. Those are the mom and pop organizations. We need to help them survive. We need to help the people in our community, in our physical proximity, and in our virtual community. So let people know you're there for them, right? We've been going round and round, and I want to now cycle back to the actual coronavirus theme, which is the halo, the circle. It is the shadow side of that circle is going round and round. And so now we absolutely need to experience a reset, because going round and round means that we're in a hamster wheel. And it's come to this point where the world is at a standstill. It's at the precipice. So we as a human family need this time out to break the pattern of the round and round and round and round cycle that is basically just regurgitating the past and not breaking free from it. So during this time out, you get a bird's eye view of the path, of the footprints that you've been laying down, and you can access the wisdom, you can access the lessons, but you're being invited to move on, to see what you couldn't see before. Who and what helps you navigate? Who and what sabotages you? Who and what supports you? Because there are certain situations and certain people that are helping you free yourself from the old cycles and keep you from going round and round. So remember, Corona is the round halo. It's time to complete that spiral. And if lessons haven't quite integrated, then the spiral will keep going round and round like the hamster wheel. So you need to actually be lit up like the halo, which is a luminous body, right? And become truly that crown of light, to become the leader, the royal. You are royalty. You are a star seed. You come from the stars. You have the light of wisdom inside of you. Let that shine. So this is really a time to understand how powerful you are and to let go of the disempowerment that you've relied on. Now, at the same time, practical. Saturn, Capricorn, very practical, right? So be sure to take precautionary steps and preventative measures. Focus on whole food nutrition, organic food, intermittent fasting, if that's what you like. It does help with energy. Your community, at home, exercise, going outside and walking with a friend, for example, hiking, having a positive attitude, of course, is key as well. So you want to laugh and laugh some more. These are the keys to keeping your immune system in a good, healthy state, and that will help you prevent those illnesses, including the virus itself. So don't run away from challenging situations. Just face them courageously. We're about to have the Aries new moon. That's all about courage. I already released my Star Code podcast for that, so have a listen to that. This is all about your inner courage awakening. You awakening in a way that is just stunning. And I hope that this podcast has helped you with understanding some of the symbology, because really what this is a good thing in the end. Now, at the same time, I want us all to now pray, offer our heartfelt prayers to the divine for grace and for healing. And let us pray and send most benevolent outcomes to everyone who's impacted, affected, especially the really hard-hit countries which are growing by the day. We know about Italy, and we know about Iran, we know about South Korea, we know about the country of origin, but there are many countries that are now joining those. Let us be of service in the best capacity that we can, so that we may prevail over this challenging situation fast, and just be there emotionally and energetically for those who are suffering and for those who are scared. We want to be set free from the fear, and the ultimate fear, as we all know, is the fear of death, which only paralyzes us. It shuts us down. Any fear shuts us down. It shuts down our intuition, and it shuts down our creativity. So with grace, may the current situation that we're in soon pass, and may we rise out of the past paradigms and enjoy every moment we have on this precious, beautiful planet Earth to the fullest. So be filled with light, be filled with delight, be filled with healing, compassion, love, and joy, and be blessed. And I can't wait to connect with you again in our next Star Code podcast. I will be sure to help you navigate every one of these amazing celestial moments, these transits that are going on and on and on for the year. So I wish you a beautiful week. and I will see you soon. Lots of love.